Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Varishth Hanuman, Jai Gurudev. Friends, today I am with you to tell you a very special and powerful experience related to Maharaj Shri. This incident is about Maran Tantra Prayog done on Maharaj Shri by three low-grade tantrics. As many of you know, every Sunday, Varishth Hanuman Maharaj Shri assumes his asan and a darbar is held. Some people come with their problems which Maharaj Shri resolves, while some come after receiving a resolution just to thank him or to touch his feet and seek blessings. And we disciples, we just live the whole week in the excitement of meeting Maharaj Shri on Sundays. Here, it's important to note that a resolution provided at Varishth Hanuman Siddhidham has two meanings. One, when Maharaj Shri uses his tapobal, that is his spiritual force, to remove the effects of Tantra Kriya on people. And secondly, when he provides clear guidance that their problems would probably be stemming from karma or prarabdha and not Tantra, and if there's no such Kriya plaguing them. So moving on, 27th April 2025, Sunday. Maharaj Shri came onto the asan and we are all sitting in front of him. All of us disciples, we used to get the darshan of God every time we looked at him, and like always, he was in a blissful mood that day too. Maharaj Shri was calm and smiling as always and was talking to all of us. One disciple offered chafa flowers to Varishth Hanumanji. Some flowers were also offered at the feet of Maharaj Shri, one of which he picked up and took in his hands. For our non-Hindi speaking friends joining us here, we should probably mention that prarabdha means karmic debt from your earlier life, and chafa flowers are kind of white Indian flowers which look similar to a buttercup. So Maharaj Shri conducted the darbar with some of these chafa flowers around his asan and one in his hand. With time, we started noticing that the flowers around Maharaj Shri started to wilt, their color rapidly darkening. In the next 2 hours, the flower in Maharaj Shri's hand and all the ones around the asan started to look burnt, and when touched, they turned into powdery black ash. But the surprising thing was that some of the same chafa flowers were also at the feet of Varishth Hanumanji, away from Maharaj Shri's asan, and those flowers were as fresh as before. The time of their bar passed, but all of the flowers offered at the feet of Varishth Hanumanji were absolutely fresh, but all the flowers around Maharaj Shri had gotten burnt. It was difficult to believe when we noticed all of this. So we asked Maharaj Shri what's happening and how. Maharaj Shri told us that some tantrics had performed tantric rituals on a family that had come to the darbar, and Maharaj Shri had gotten rid of the effects of those. That family is now under the protection of Varishth Hanumanji. But the tantrics who had caused so much harm to that family for just some money were now trying Sukhi Tantra Kriya on Maharaj Shri since 11:30 in the morning. It is worth noticing here that Maharaj Shri had already told his disciples present with him, even before the darbar started and the flowers arrived, that Maran Tantra was being attempted on him by 3 tantrics. He told us all that Sukhi Tantra Kriya is a kind of Maran Tantra in which the body of the targeted person slowly dries up, the blood and the weight keep decreasing, the person gets bedridden, and then ultimately dies an untimely death within a few days. Seeing such a drastic tantric ritual being performed on Maharaj Shri right in front of us, and the flowers wilting right before our eyes and finally turning to ashes, most of us became a little scared. But only till Maharaj Shri laughingly said, "Why are they wasting their money and time?" Maharaj Shri also explained to us that those who have received Diksha from him, which means initiated by him, and whose Guru is Varishth Hanuman Ji, they are also equally protected, and any negative tantra attempted on them is never successful, no matter what kind. At this point, a disciple shared that once a tantric had tried to hypnotize him and then tried to scare him by talking about some tantric experiments and that he'll keep perceiving meat and foul smell, etc., around him. With all of this, the tantric was trying to convince the disciple to follow his instructions instead, and that Maharaj Shri isn't a right guru. However, this attempt had also failed. Friends, the reason for telling you about all of this here is that the wrong kind of tantrics keep trying to use different methods to target Maharaj Shri. They have always tried and have always failed. In fact, let alone harming Maharaj Shri, they could not even control or scare even ordinary disciples with all their might. In a similar incident, once some tantrics downloaded Maharaj Shri's picture from the internet, used some tantra on him, and with the intention of destroying him, put some nails in that picture and hung it from a tree. Even after knowing all of this, Maharaj Shri just laughed and said, "Poor guys, their time and money were all wasted, and look, all they got was disappointment." I can openly say that people like Aghoris and Kapaliks and Naughars, all of these are just children related to Maharaj Shri's knowledge and tapobal, which are far more advanced than all of them, or to be accurate, probably incomparable. This was not the first time negative tantra was attempted against Maharaj Shri, nor will it be the last. We are saying this because unscrupulous tantrics have turned the sacred Sanatan science of tantra into a way to scare and exploit the common man. And in such a situation, Varishth Hanuman Maharaj Shri has taken up the responsibility of restoring the reputation of the Indian Tantra science with great simplicity and sattvikta. Friends, I invite us all to emulate these qualities in our own lives as well. That is, to stay immersed in the simple bliss of chanting Sri Ramji's and Hanumanji's name, perform our worldly duties as duties to the Almighty, and steer clear of superstition and awe-mongering. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Varishth Hanuman, Jai Gurudev.